So this topic is something that we already in Finland, we kind of had this new digital education strategy started in 1990s, or actually early 2000, and I was one of the consults for the schools when implementing the digital education strategy. So I think this is maybe the first of its kind in Tanzania. Am I right? Or have you had digital education strategy already before? Do you remember?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so this
I
is the
hope it's
first.
the first one. Yeah.
Maybe it's the first one. I didn't hear it before.
Okay, yeah. But now this is kind of situation that actually some schools already start to have these possibilities of implementing digital education, like Patandi and Themi and Meru. Uh, and also, is it so that government is already providing some schools with IT technology? Do you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They have started with few schools.
yes. Of
Yeah.
course, Tanzania has a big number of population, a lot of students, and a lot of big schools, and not so much resources, so it takes time. But it eventually you will have, all the schools will have at least some kind of a digital technology. So this was prepared by the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, and of the purpose is to guide the ICT integration at all levels of education and hopefully to improve learning outcomes. I will just check one more thing about the Zoom. Excuse me, because I'm not quite, I have to, is it, yeah, all right. So if we talk about vision, you know what it means. It always, everyone and every institute and every person should have its own vision, which means that where am I going? Where do I want to be, for example, in 10 years? It's very good to also for the students that they would create their own vision. Where do they want to be in 10 years or in 20 years? So this vision is to improve learning outcomes through digital technologies. It's also the vision, one of the vision, part of our vision for FSC. It's not the only, but it's very, very important part of our vision to improve learning outcomes through digital technologies. And then mission is that enhancing access to quality teaching, learning, and administration through digital technologies. So it emphasizes on all those teaching, learning, and administration. I tried to read the strategy several times. Part of it is this kind of administrative language, which is not always the easiest one to understand. But what I kind of found there that there were 7 core pillars there, which you can read here, but I can also read them out. ICT infrastructure and access. And without it, you can't really benefit from ICT. So this is, you first have to build the ICT infrastructure and give access both to teachers, students, and the administration. Once it has been done, it can be integrated into the curriculum And that's partly what we are doing with you already. Then digital content development. It's also part of our training. You will be creating digital content for your own use, but also to share with others. I think sharing with others is very important. For example, when I was teaching you Canvas, you also saw some examples how you can use ICT in digital assessment, how it might help you in evaluation and assessment. Then, in order to utilize this ICT, we also need human resource and capacity building, like teacher training, and that's what we are, of course, doing exactly. Innovation, research, and entrepreneurship. For example, in our project now, part of research is included in it. Very important part of our project is evaluation, and research is done right now, will be done by Flavian and Lisa Ilomäki. Innovation is part of these core pillars because once you learn how to utilize digital technology, you also find out new ways of doing things, innovating the use of digital technology. For example, how to support the learning of our disabled students. And then entrepreneurship, it's a small part of our project, but it will be included. But this is not just for our project, it's for the whole Tanzania. But I'm kind of mirroring these to our project. And then emerging technologies. Like, the technology, it goes so fast forward that we need to run in order to catch everything. But what I think right now, you mentors who are now in this training, you 5 or 6, you are really the ones who are doing the running. I know that you are very capable of running in this sense. Then, in addition to these core pillars, there are supporting pillars. It's not enough that we only put the laptops in the lab. We need technical support and maintenance. I know, for example, Matthew and Samuel and most of you, you're pretty good in the technical support. You're already doing it. And in addition, we also have Ewald. And after Christopher and Hilary finish their studies in ATC, they will join the team by supporting and maintaining Themi School. Then supporting pillars are also partnership and resource mobilization. Partnerships can be very wide, different kinds of, but for example, partnership with us, the schools and us, it's one of the resources. But you might get some outside of school partnerships and resource mobilization, maybe from some companies and so on. Every time that we are doing some new things at school, there has to be change management. You have probably noticed that even in your schools, there are so different kinds of teachers. Someone like you who are in the top, wanting to learn all the time new things. And then there are those ones who kind of resist the new things. So administration plays a essential role in this so that they can get more, at least most of the teachers come and work together in order to do these big change. Then quite different things, data management and analytics. Data management includes, for example, where do you store all the files? Is there a way of analyzing the data that you're receiving? Data management is also, for example, the data that you get from the student exams and that sort of things. A very important thing is also, of course, security, privacy, safety, and ethics. We have been talking about these issues, but don't ever forget these. They belong together to data management, so that all the data that is, for example, collected from the students, it has to be secure. It has to maintain the students' privacy. And then last but not maybe least, governance, management, and regulatory framework. So these are the 6 supporting pillars. And then 5 key principles which I could find from the strategy. First, inclusion and equity. That is exactly what our goal is, to include all the students, all the teachers, and give them equal opportunity to learn. Quality of teaching, quality of teaching materials, and safety. Innovation and research, it was one of the core pillars, but it's here also in key principles. Collaboration among stakeholders, whatever the stakeholders for your schools are or for you teachers. They might be our association, but like I said, they can be different companies. They are also the parents, the school board, and of course, the students. And then continuous monitoring and learning. This implementation and coordination of the strategy, it was the central coordination unit is, of course, Ministry of Education, Science and Technology. And this is a 5-year rolling plan with annual review. I don't know how they are doing the review. Hopefully it's effective. And of course, it's based on continuous learning and adaptation at all levels. And okay, I will stop sharing for a while. So this was kind of a summary that I found from the strategy. Do you agree with this? Someone is nodding. Did I do the right kind of summary, or do you want to add something?
For me,
just
it's
a good
clear.
summary.
Okay, Gideon.
Yeah, it is just a good summary, and there are a lot of expectation here. So we're waiting for the implementation from the government and the stakeholders, and as we teachers for implementing it.
Yes. Yeah. Good. Thank you, Gideon. And now I see that also Sir Oscar has joined us, and Rehema. Great that you're here. And Nassim is now in the office. And and ready to,
Yeah.
yeah. So what we will now do is I will, in chat there are questions, but I will first, because I try to do this beforehand, meaning that divide you into different groups, but because quite many is missing, so I have to redo this. But meanwhile, I do. Please, you can all discuss in this big group in Swahili what you think about the strategy. And then when I've redone the breakout rooms, then you will be given specific questions. And now, of course, you can discuss in Swahili. And later on, Nosim will do me a summary of the discussion. So I think, are you in the most of you are in the school, so are you close to each other? What happens if you all open the microphone? Does it start echoing? Let's try. If you all open the microphone just to speak freely, what happens? If Paul and Onesmo still, you could, and Rehema. And it takes me just few minutes. I will redo the breakout rooms. Vitus is not here, but Samuel. Okay, maybe I'll only do 3 rooms now. 1, 2, 3.
Vitus is around here, so
Okay,
can be
can
among
of
the one which will be in the break room.
Okay, so I will add him to a breakout room. So you are all together 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There will be 8. So I will only have 3 breakout rooms with 3 or yeah. So Vitus will be in the first group. Gideon, Paul, and Rehema will be the second group. And welcome, Vitus. So
Thank
if
you.
I now tell your names, Samuel, Gideon, and Vitus will be the first group. You can even start reading from the chat your questions. Group 2, there are, no, now I have Gideon twice. Paul and Rehema. Oscar and Matthew will be in third. Is there any? 3, 5, 7. Who is missing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Matthew. Okay, I will now assign you. Oh, before I assign you to the breakout rooms, I will. Let's go through the 3 questions that we will work on today. I had prepared 5 questions, or quite 5 topics, but we can come to those maybe later. So I will now share my screen. So group 1, ICT in teaching and learning is the topic, and the 4 questions will be: how can teachers use digital tools in daily lessons? How can mentors support others? What role could be digital assessment play? And what are the main challenges your school faces in using ICT for teaching and learning? But you find these questions also in chat, but you can also take a picture of this. But I forgot this previous slide. So the instructions. So you will be divided in breakout rooms, and each group discusses one theme for 20 minutes and then presents their key points to the whole class. You can create one PowerPoint slide for each question to summarize your discussion. Present your summary in Swahili, but the PowerPoint slides should be in English. So later on, I think it's easier for you to present your summary in Swahili, and later on, Nosim will be able to summarize them to me in English. But to be more effective, let's do this in Swahili. Group 2 is digital content topic. What good materials already exist? How to make content inclusive for deaf, blind, and etc. How can local culture and language be included? And what are the main challenges in your school concerning digital content? What are or what will be the main challenges? And then group 3, capacity building. What digital skills do teachers still need? How can mentoring support ongoing learning? How to ensure no one is left behind? And what are the main challenges in your school concerning capacity building? So if you open the chat, you can find also these. Now I will divide you in the breakout rooms. The first group was about teaching and learning. How can teachers use digital tools in daily lessons? How can mentors support others? What role could digital assessment play? And what are the main challenges your school faces in using ICT for teaching and learning? So, Group 1, you're welcome to present. And if you have the PowerPoint slide, you can just share your screen. So in first group, there was Gideon, Samuel, and Vitus. Who of you will do the presentation, or are you going to do it together?
Okay, I think we can proceed on presenting, and then when he will come back, we will continue with him. On this question number 1, on how can teachers use digital tools in daily lesson, we discussed that digital tools can help teachers in preparing teaching and learning materials for both regular students and the students with the special needs. For instance, for students with low vision, and also for students with, with visual impairment, and also for students with hearing impairment. Digital tools plays a vital role in assisting preparation of teaching and learning material, but also the teaching process itself as a whole. And then we have seen that digital tools can help teacher to do demonstration in a practical related subjects. For instance, you can find that maybe a teacher is teaching about volcano, and you can find that it is quite hard for students to understand what the teacher is talking about. But through digital tools, a teacher can search the content related to the subject, and then a teacher can demonstrate that content. So it will help students to understand the concept better by doing demonstration. But also there are those subjects that are practical related subjects for a student to understand it well. For instance, most of science subjects, they have practicals. So when a student, maybe he or she is not capable of doing practical, but at least if he or she will see the demonstration, it will help her or him. But also, we have seen that digital tools is a vital tool for presentation. For instance, the use of PowerPoint. A teacher can prepare materials, and then he or she can present it by using digital tools. Question number 2, how can mentors support others? We have seen that mentors can support others by through guidance and advice. So for those mentors, if a mentor understands something about digital tools, he or she can assist another mentor, another mentor, by guiding him or her, and also by providing an advice, including the importance of digital tools. So you can find that if the mentor is well informed about digital tools, he or she can be in position of accepting it and also using it. But also we have seen that skills development. So mentors can support each other through skills development, because what we believe is that even if a mentor doesn't have a clue about digital tools, but he or she can have the hidden skills inside him or her. So when those skills are developed, he or she can be in position to even being using digital tools. But also we discussed that another method that can help mentors to support each other is inspiring other mentors through outcomes. For instance, those mentors that have the knowledge of using digital technology, when they will prepare a lesson, and if other mentors or teachers, they will come across with that mentor, and if they see the result or the outcome, the way the teacher is preparing materials and the way it help him or her to simplify work, and the way it make the teaching to be even better, so that outcome will inspire other mentors. So it will be one among the means of helping each other. Okay. But also in this part of the role that that can be played by digital assessment, we have found that through digital assessment, the tools that are used in digital assessment will help. First of all, will help to keep records. For instance, we mentors, we are engaging our studies by using Canvas. You can find that there are a lot of records there the subject that we used to study are there, but also it make easier for conducting assessment. For instance, if mentor, maybe the course is prepared by using digital tools, for instance, Canvas, you can prepare an exam and the student can be able to interact with the exam, and also it tends to simplify the teaching and learning process. But also on question number 4, the main challenges your school facing in using ICT for teaching and learning. We just discussed one point and then we were out of time. But the point we discussed is was the rigidity. Some people are rigid to accept changes. So you can find that some mentors or teachers, they used to teach by using analog methods and that kind of stuff. So it is hard for them, or it is quite slow for them to accept changes so that they can integrate with the digital teaching. So it takes times. Thank you.
Thank you, Samuel. Very thorough. Okay, now Gideon couldn't open the PowerPoint, but you can later on send it to me either via Canvas or just by email. Your explanation, Samuel, was so clear that I think we could quite easily manage without the PowerPoint, but still it would be nice to have the PowerPoint. Then group 2, let's see. I will once read the...
Share screen.
Can you
How
see?
can I share?
I'll just read the questions. What good materials already exist? How to make content inclusive? How can local culture and language be included? What are the main challenges in your school concerning digital content? And whom of you, there were Matthew, Matthew Tweeve, you can share whatever you need. So Matthew, Paul, and Rehema.
Am I sharing?
Yes, now I can see it.
Oh, how can I put it in a full screen mode?
Yes.
Slideshow from the beginning. Thank you. Our question says, seen it is digital content in teaching and learning. Eh?
Yes.
The first question was, what good material already exists? We have written small, but I can explain. What good material already exists in these schools? We have computers, we have projectors, we have internet, though not in a good number, but it is inadequate. The second question was how to make content inclusive for deaf or blind. We have seen if you make use of audio-visual materials, example cameras, audio-visual materials and cameras, we can include all learners in teaching and learning. The third one, how can local culture and language be included? We have said to translate the language of material used, and the way of delivering the material into Swahili or language which is understandable to all learners at that time. And the fourth one was, what was the main challenge you face at school? We have seen the first one is pedagogical skills, that is inadequate pedagogical skills among the educators or teachers. The second is inadequate internet resources. The third one is timetable. And the fourth one was lack of lack of cameras in general. The fifth, the last was number of students in the classes. You find out some of the classes in our school, there are so many students that require more attention than other schools. Thank you.
Thank you, Matthew. So the question 4, it's mainly about not adequate resources. If we had more resources, we could solve most of the problems. But of course, timetable is also time resource is something that we can't usually, even with the money, pay. Just to tell that next year we will have money to buy the document camera for both Patandi and Themi. But we can't change the number of students. But if you go back to the first question, what good material are already present for digital content in schools? Yes, of course, we need the computers and projectors and internet in order to use the digital content. But then one question is also that it would be very good if we could somehow search for the ready-made digital learning material so that we don't invent the wheel again. So if there is some good digital material already, try to find that material, like in YouTube or somewhere. Also, I think Tanzania is providing some digital materials for schools. So if you had some sort of an overall picture of the existing digital material, then you could only focus to make some new content which doesn't already exist. Did you get my point?
I get you.
All right. Thank you, Matthew, and your group. And then the third one, it was I will share my
It
screen.
was Onesimo and Oscar.
Yeah, and I will share my screen just to read the capacity building. What digital skills do teachers still need? How can mentoring support ongoing learning? How to ensure no one is left behind? And what are the main challenges in your school concerning capacity building? So,
Yes. Question number 1 is about what digital skills do teachers still need? First one is basics on ICT skills. A lot of, most of basics, they already learned, but some of them not yet, for instance, on how they can use the printer machine. But also they need skills on digital device connectivity. For instance, on how they connect one computer to another computer in case there is no projector, and they need maybe to share their content to the other computer screen. Also, how to connect phone with projector, and also they need skills on digital device maintenance. For instance, here now at Patandi, we have a computer, we have a printer and projector. So maybe when they get a challenge, it is difficult on how we can make maintenance, or yes, on how they can make maintenance.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there is not always someone available for helping, so they need to know at least the basic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe in making repair sometime. So this is the skills needed. Also, cyber security, on how they can protect students' data and even secure their password. Although we have went to the session or training like this of Zoom meeting, but we are not yet to teach teachers on how they can create a strong password. Maybe for the next session, we'll plan on training them about it. But also, they still need skills on digital pedagogy, especially using AI. For instance, as I think Mr. Samuel explained, sometimes we have some content which is difficult to explain, for instance, blood circulation or how human heart works. So by using AI, it can be easier to students to understand. So this is a skills which teacher do still need to learn it. The second question is, how can mentoring support ongoing learning? As we know, we are continue with ICT training in our schools, but us as a mentor, how can we support it is by providing one-to-one guidance to the teachers and making follow-up during the lesson. Also, we need to motivate teachers to attend ICT session, because sometimes there are some of teachers which have a low passion toward the ICT training. And question number 3 is how to ensure no one is left behind. First of all is by providing training to all teachers, no matter is a beginner, intermediate, or advanced in ICT technology. Also, we ensure every teacher has necessary digital materials which are needed for the specific lesson. For instance, maybe computer, internet connection. So during the session, we ensure every teacher has those necessary material needed to ensure no one is left behind. Also, question number 4 was, what are the main challenges in your schools concerning capacity building? First of all, we have limited ICT devices. Here at Patandi, we have enough computer, but there are some devices which are needed for the session. For instance, one session we used the Ncast device, which used it to connect the phone and the projector. But due to the limited of this device, not all teachers participated to make a practice on this training. That is one of the challenge. Also, another challenge is low confidence. Sometimes you can train, but when you ask anyone to volunteer, maybe practice what you have learned, some of the teachers, they have low confidence to do it. Maybe I think they fear to make a mistake. But sometimes we have interruption of timetable. For instance, now we are going on with national examination for Form 4. So some of the teachers, you can see they are not with us here in Zoom. Yeah, so even in regular ICT session, we get that challenge of timetable interruption. And last one is some days we got a internet connection problem. So also is a other challenge which interfere our sessions or capacity building to teachers on ICT.
Thank you,
That's all.
Onesmo. Okay, I think I got pretty clear picture about your discussions. Now you all did in English, so Nosim doesn't need to translate anything, but I think this was very valuable for Nosim also to hear. So how we will continue. So we have scheduled one more training this year, but now I ask you, do you know any why we couldn't have on December 2nd? So it's in 2 weeks. Are you available for training on December 2nd? Or do you have some specific tasks at school then? If you don't know right now, but please, if you find out that there are some reason why we can't have the training on December 2nd, so please inform me in advance. So what we still need to kind of gather information about this first year of our project is that maybe Nosim, you will forward this to Lydia too. So some sort of update about all the trainings that you have already had this year and the topics and just, a little bit of the content, the topic and some more description about the training so that we also, Aino and me, we will get a clear picture what kind of trainings you have already had. And this is, of course, something that Lisa also would like to have the mentoring plan, including what are the main topics for next year. Not only the group trainings, but also like I think Onesmo mentioned that, individual guiding. And so update the mentoring plan and then update the information about the trainings that you have already had. And then the next time we can either expand this subject a little bit, that, the national strategy also in AI, or then as an original plan was to continue with Canvas. But if we continue with Canvas, it means that you need to have already some sort of a planning of the course that you will be putting in Canvas. So I don't know, have you been doing any planning on that? Would you be ready to start creating a Canvas course? Do you have some peer that you're doing it with? So these kind of questions needs to be answered. I can actually send you these questions to WhatsApp so that you can answer me. So Aino and me, or actually Aino will not be with us next. She will be traveling, but I will be having this either Canvas or then continuing this strategy thing, because we didn't answer all the questions yet because we were quite a few here. So raise hands who would like to continue with the strategy. The other option is Canvas. So next time, continue with strategy. Does anyone raise hand for that? Matthew?
Matthew, I think.
How about
Are you the only one?
how about continue with Canvas?
It's okay.
Onesmo, Paul? Okay, this is just the preliminary question, but you will
Okay.
then answer it in WhatsApp, just to get some sort of idea. So I will send you the questions in WhatsApp and then you answer them. And it's another question is, of course, which we will probably ask you a bit later, is what are the needs for the training for next year? Me and Aino and Minna Rasila, who is a expert in artificial intelligence, will be coming to Arusha. We will be there in late February and early March to have a 5 days training, and we want to serve you so that we will give you the training that you feel that you need. But Nosim, you have something to ask.
Okay, I have something to ask. When we are talking about the future planning, we were thinking of Lydia, if it's okay to invite more teachers, since this is an online training, which means that anyone can attend. So for this sustainability and also the expanding, for instance, we can invite the Patandi, like we can discuss with those universities and college who are producing the special education teachers, if it's okay for those students they are training once in a while to join this kind of training. So we're just raising that if it's possible to include in the future planning. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And of course it is. Of course it depends on the topic. Like if we are continuing our Canvas planning, so it's no use to take part of that kind of. But for example, when we're talking about these strategies and special education pedagogy and that sort of things, but you will be, of course, you will be informed about our topics in advance, so
Yeah.
you can let them know about the topics, and if they are interested in joining us, everyone is, of course, welcome.
Excellent idea, I must say. Excellent idea. Thank you, Nosim.
So, Nosim, did that idea come from teachers from the team which were training or outside of the team?
It comes from I and Lydia. We were just trying to brainstorm for the sustainability.
Very good.
Our two
Nosim and Lydia. Yeah, smart girls.
Smart ladies.
That's why we pay for you.
All right.
All right.
Great to see you all. And I will send we will, with Aino, we will probably frame a little bit of those questions with Aino and send them to WhatsApp. And please then answer as soon as possible when you have received the questions. So it gives us a little bit time to do planning, because the planning takes much more time than training.
Yes.
Okay. Have a nice week, and greetings to those who couldn't participate today, but of course this recording will be released. And see you on December.
If you didn't know what is this is cold smoked salmon that I produced myself. And I'm
delicious.
And
beautiful.
The freezer.
I know, if you can wait just for a few minutes. So
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kwaheri, kwaheri.
Kwaheri, kwaheri.
Kwaheri.
Asante sana.